Hello and welcome to Monday Night Live. It's Yvonne here with my beanstalk right alongside me. So thank you for joining me on our Monday Night Live, coming to you for maybe our 10th or 11th year now of Monday Night Live, which was Saturday, then Sunday. So today I'm going to talk to you about Trail Ready, how building and sustaining your hiking habits amidst all of life's hustle that comes along with us. So you may be wondering how I come up with the same topics, or not the same, with topics every week for Monday Night Live. And I listen to our community when I'm out hiking with them. I listen to the emails. I watch our Facebook conversations and all the comments as well. And generally what is a question for one person is a question for many. So that's how I come up with the topics. So as I said, how to build and sustain your hiking habits amongst everything that's going on in each of our lives. So welcome if you are watching. Hello, Heather, and hello, Alethea. I don't really have to say too much. And hello, Ronnie, as well. Lovely to have you here. And we often, and I get lots of questions and even reading between the lines of what's going on with people. And, without prying and without being told too many things, just this general vibe that seems to happen. And I've been working in the women's health and fitness space for 18 years now, and I've seen and heard lots of things. And I know what makes for a strong woman, and I know I've heard every single excuse. So if you want to throw one at me, I can tell you if I've heard it or not as well. So hello, Mary, as well. It has been really quite warm here in Brisbane. Hello, Sharon on the Gold Coast. Hello, Kerry from Northeast Victoria. And hello, Susan from Newcastle. So we are all over the east coast of Australia and South Australia this evening. So thank you for joining me. So, we often talk about Trail Ready. I know that I have lots of questions from people who want to book on a hike, but say that they, there's lots of questions that they have around a hike, and I could talk all day about it. But one of the questions is around training, around I don't have time. And I think that that is a question that needs addressing. It is a little bit of an elephant in the room, or my life circumstances have changed. I can no longer attend. I can no longer commit to this. I can no longer, because of life getting in the way. And the life getting in the way thing is what I want to talk about today, amongst other things. But why am I so focused on us being trail fit or whatever kind of fit it is in terms of our health and wellness? Because when we are trail ready, in particular trail ready in the context of hiking today, we are also life fit. Now, what does that mean? It means that when we have the ability to step up and over rocks, over logs, to get down and sit on the ground when we're out on the trails, to lift our pack up, which sometimes might weigh, anywhere from 5 to 7 kilos, to, being able to help a friend over a creek and stuff like that, that we also have those skills that translate and the strength over to life. So our ability to get up and down off the ground when we sit on the ground on a hike, because there's not always a picnic table there, is our ability to get ourselves up and down off the ground should we happen to trip over or something like that in our everyday house. Our ability to step up and over something is our ability to get off the couch without having to do that rock and roll thing, which is some homework we've been doing inside our community, or without having to leverage your arms onto the side of the couch as well to get yourself up. The ability to lift your pack translates to the ability to lift a small child, or to lift your groceries up and down, staircases, or in and out of, the boot of your car. So trail fit or trail ready translates over to being life fit. So you may think, well, I don't have time to be trail ready. I'd like to hike, but I don't have time to commit to the training. So flip it around the other way and think about, do I have time to commit to being fit enough for my own life? So let me check in with who else has rocked up. Hello, Ellen. Hello, Margaret up in Cairns. Hello, Sandra. Lovely to have you here, Sandra. And hello, Margaret. Early Beach on holidays. There's a few people I know heading up to the Cairns, Far North Queensland region for holidays at the moment. So if you've just jumped in, we're talking about trail ready, building and sustaining your hiking habits amidst our busy lifestyles. So one of the things, this is my tired Monday look here. I have finally finished my training for the marathon, and this ties in perfectly to our conversation tonight. So I did my last long run on Saturday, and as I set the alarm, which had a 3 in front of it on Saturday morning, I was like, oh, do I really have to do this? Do I really have to get up? Do I, and I have this stupid argument with myself because of course I was getting up. But, as I had been running along, the last couple of weeks have been quite intense for me with my running preparation, and quite heavy in the volume of kilometers. I was thinking about the journey, and this is where I get a lot of my inspiration for Monday Night Lives as well. Thinking about the journey of my road to the Berlin Marathon, but thinking of that in terms of my road to where Women's Fitness Adventures is, about all of our members' roads to their hiking journey as well. And I had some friends doing some pretty intense challenges over in the US on the weekend, and I was monitoring their progress. And, they came back and said that it was hard, much harder than they thought, their event that they did. And it was wet and it was cold, and that, they weren't expecting that. But like life, most of what we plan for isn't expected. It doesn't always go to plan. And our road to our achievements is never, ever a straight line. It's what we do with that in between. And I was thinking about my road to Berlin, and how when I committed to it, I knew that, for those of you who know me, I have a lot of things going on in my life, but I knew that, and I knew that I wanted to do this, and that somehow I would find a way. It doesn't mean that I'm gunning, well, it's not even in the realms of possibility, for, a world time. It doesn't mean that I, am doing everything at a cost to everything else. It means that I had made something that I wanted to do important to me. And despite all of the variations that were going in my life, and if you look at it, it's really like a snake pattern since I signed on for that in December last year. It was never going to be a straight line. And once we know that it's never going to be a straight line, it's easier to commit to our training and our trail preparation. And I know many of you watching, I know some of your backstories, and I know that your life and your preparation, and if you want to share, I'd love to share your insight, is that it hasn't turned out how you wanted it to, or how you planned, I should say. But you've made a way, you've found a way around, you've found a way through to make it work, and you've found a way to make hiking training part of your lifestyle, because and we were talking about this today on the trails, that a couple of the team was saying, and everyone found it tough today because it was warm, that they are so glad that they had found our community, because what that community meant to each and every one of them was different, but what it gave them was something very similar, but it gave them the skills to be life fit, and in an environment that everyone was really quite similar with the outcomes that they were trying to achieve. So we have this saying, and I see it quite regularly in the things that I run weekly, and I run the online fitness classes weekly, and there's a reminder that goes out, and there's often some cancellations in the morning or in the afternoon. And, it could be that, work, it could be, I've been called in to babysit, I'm not feeling well. There could be a whole lot of reasons. And I've said it too, this life gets in the way, and life is everything that we do. And, we all have the same 24 hours, and it's how we prioritize the 24 hours, and what comes up and what seems important might change in the course of those 24 hours from when you woke up in the morning to the time that, the 12, 14 hours or whatever, 16 hours that you're awake by the time we go to bed. And I'm going to park that and come back to it, because this is, again, like my Billy Connolly, where everything leads to the same ending. But sometimes when we say life gets in the way, our schedule can be really overwhelming. And in a world where we can literally do anything we want, whenever we want, and have access to it 24 hours a day, it's really easy to overschedule ourselves. Now, you're looking at the master overscheduler here, but it's really easy to overschedule, and then it becomes so overwhelming that if something unexpected happens or changes, then the commitment to ourselves is the thing that goes, because the other thing, whatever that other thing, whether work is asking you to stay longer, whether family needs you, whether that email has to go out, whether you have to cook the dinner right now, whether, the dog needs a walk, whatever it is, it all will seem more important than giving time to ourselves. Now, if you're nodding your head, I'd love a thumbs up for that, because we see ourselves as less urgent than, just by the very nature of being women, than everything else around us. So I want you to have a think about that. And if you agree with that we will put other stuff before us, because not that we're not important, but we become less important when other things come up where we're needed more. Yeah, thanks for some thumbs up there. Margaret says here, and I know Margaret's story, and Margaret says there are many ups and downs in life, but commitment for whatever you do will eventually get you there. Absolutely. And the ups and downs are just like the trail as well. Hi, Suzanne. And yeah, absolutely, Mary. It is, our commitment to self is, my family needs me. So my needs aren't as important as theirs are. So I'm not going to give myself that half-hour walk, or I'm not going to do that class, or I'm not going to, whatever it might be. I'm not going to eat healthily because my family all want me to, whatever it might be. Our commitment to self is the thing that suffers. And yeah, funny how we put ourselves last, Mary, but we are also master nurturers, and all women, and that's just something that's inbuilt. So the key is, how do we keep ourselves focused on being trail ready when all of this stuff around life keeps coming at us? And there was this great article I was reading the other day. I went and did my CPR update, and waiting in the car because I got there early. And the article was about longevity, and this medical doctor in America. And he was saying that, why is it the exception, not the norm, that as people get into their 80s and 90s, that they are still capable, fitness-wise, of doing lots and lots of things? Why is that the exception? Why can't we not make that the norm? And if you think about it, it's the things that we do as women back in our 20s, 30s, 40s, that ends us up where we are right now. And it's because we can't see the immediate consequences of our actions or our inactions that happen. And so if we take getting ready for a multi-day hike, and we think, well, the training to, the hike might be, let's say, in December, and where are we now? August. It won't matter if I don't do it today, and it probably won't. And it won't matter if I don't do it tomorrow, and it won't matter if I don't do it. And then all of a sudden, your hike is upon you, and guess what? It really matters. It matters that you haven't done it. And that is exactly like this compounding fitness, this cumulative giving the gift of health to ourselves, is that it doesn't really matter if you don't do it today when you're 30, because it won't show up until you're 50. So if we think that commitment to ourself doesn't really matter, it doesn't matter on a daily basis, but when it is a cumulative daily basis, it does. So Ronnie says, I agree about being hiking or life fit, but sometimes it's necessary to just stop, take a break, refocus, reset, and restart. It is. Yeah, it absolutely is. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Kim says she really needed a walk this afternoon after a big commitment week, so enjoying it. Yeah, absolutely. Just that circuit breaker of that time for you and time to de-stress. We also say life gets in the way because we underestimate the time and energy that something might need. So, in a world, this instant world we live in, we do think that sometimes things will take less of us, not just physically, but emotionally as well, or that something else in our life is taking a lot. That means, there's only so much of us to go around. And the resistance to change is probably the biggest one, and I've seen this in the 18 years of working in women's health and fitness, is that we can get really comfortable in our routines. We, and it goes hand in hand with this mental conflict that we have. We might want to change. We might want to, we say all the right things, but our behavior doesn't doesn't match the things that we're saying. And it's this resistance to change. We're all a contradiction. We all, our lives aren't perfect. We all say some things and do the exact opposite. That's just, human nature, I think. But we default to our comfy, regular, familiar routines because it's easy. The ego wants us to go to that space where I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't feel challenged. It doesn't feel hard. It's, I want to take the easiest possible way to do this, and that's the comfortable way that I'm used to. I don't want to do anything hard. And change and success, it happens in the hard. And that mental conflict of I am, what we say and what we do just doesn't match. And that's the parts of us that are contradictory. And that path to being life fit and trail ready isn't a straight line. There are days when there are bumps. There are weeks when there are bumps. But if, ultimately we're getting to that point, how we get there may vary for every single one of us. But if we hold fast to that, if we hold true to that and put that sense of self first to be life fit and trail ready. So just know that those of you who are trail ready or working towards it are also very, very life fit too. And not sure she's here tonight, but she was racing for the bus, and she could see the bus driver was looking at her thinking, this lady looks like an old lady. She's not going to catch up. And she made it to the bus, and the bus driver was taken aback that this woman in her 60s could actually run like that. And she said it was because she has been hiking and she is trail fit, and so therefore trail ready, therefore life fit as well. And I think even surprised herself in that way. And hello, Karen from Claremont, if I haven't said that. Kerry says, since retiring, I've tried to prioritize fitness and exercise, but that guilty feeling, am I being selfish, thinking of me still creeps in. And absolutely it does. Women are always going to have guilt. I think men have guilt too, but in a different way. I don't know. I'm not a man. I can't speak for that. But we will always have guilt. And if we don't have guilt, I know if I don't have guilt, I'll have resentment to self. So, I think it's about finding that right space where, we just, the more we do it, the less guilty we feel. But, the other question to ask is, are we worth it? So thank you for sharing that, Kerry. Ellen says, it's really easy to say there isn't enough time. The reality is that 30 minutes is not a long time. Once you get out there and go for a quick walk, it's a quick walk. And before you know it, you've exercised for 30 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. It is really easy to say there's not enough time. The other thing is that I heard the other day, the other quote, which goes hand in hand with this, is don't let your mood dictate your exercise behavior. So if you're in a bad mood, if you're peeved off with someone, don't go, oh, I'm done with the world. I'm not going for my walk, or I'm not doing my exercise, or I've had a rough day at work and I'm just going to sit down on the couch now. Let that pass and then decide what you want to do. Don't let the mood of the moment you're in determine what you're going to do. And Alison says, for me, having a habit of a regular fitness routine is not only good for my well-being, it's easier than having to start a fitness routine. And that way you're ready for any adventure anytime. Yeah. And I think I've shared this before, Alison. Thank you for sharing that. Is that, if someone says to me, hey, you want to go do this great thing? It's like, I'm ready, bring it on. Or I don't have to say, no, I can't do that because of, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I'm with you, Alison. So what are the right strategies, though, to keep ourselves trail ready amongst all the busyness of life, amongst this easy world where it is time to, we can do anything we want anytime and life gets in the way. But what is life? Life is what we live and breathe every single day. So it can't get in the way. It's what we assign to getting in the way. So time management is one of the things. And as Ellen said there, it's easy to say there's not enough time. Choosing our future self, choosing you and choosing your future self is a way to think about time management. So what can I do today that the Yvonne of tomorrow will thank me for? And that could be waiting for the kettle to boil. I'm doing my calf raises. What can I do today that Yvonne in 5 years' time will thank myself for? And if you look backwards over your shoulder and think about your life as you've lived it, what are some of the things that you did that you're thanking yourself for right now? It could be whatever it is. I'm not even going to speculate. But what are some of those things that you did that, I'm really glad that I did that? One for me was traveling. That, in my late 20s, I quit work and I backpacked with, he's now my husband, but was my boyfriend at the time. And we went around the world for 12 months. And, that's one thing my future self thanks me for, that I took that opportunity when it was presented to me to go and do something that I had always wanted to do. So that's important. Hello, Kate. Thank you for commenting. Not sure who you are, but thank you for commenting. You lose fitness so quickly when you stop exercising. I stopped for 3 months and I'm still trying 2 months later to get back to the same level. Yeah, absolutely you do. And I'm not saying here when we say, trail ready is life ready, that we have to, it's all or nothing. And we often think about that all or nothing. But it is just that commitment to our future self. What little thing can I do today? What can I install as a habit? What can rituals can I create that makes it an easy decision for me to get up in the morning and go for a walk? That makes it an easy decision for me to, stop my work at 5 o'clock and commit to exercise, or to give myself that 20-minute break in the middle of the day and just sit down and do some yoga or some breathing or something like that. But it does take a long time to get back. So the key is to try and not, and sometimes it's not possible, especially if there's been an illness or an injury or something, it's not possible to get back to that space so quickly. But if we know what got us to there in the first place, we can, keep going on that path. Mary says, Kate, so pleased you said that. It's taking me ages to catch up and I couldn't understand why. Well, the interesting thing is that when we are well, we're here. And then when we are unwell, we can go down to here. And if it's a major unwell, we might not be able to get up to the level that we were before. So depending on where you are, you might be way down here and not be able to get up there, or you may be at this level of fitness and you can get up to a certain level there. But if it's that we've been taken away because we've lacked motivation or just something has diverted our attention away, it may take us a little longer, but we've changed in that time frame as well. So that 3 months ago, Kate, that you've changed, and for you, Mary, as well, 2 months later, trying to get back to the same level. As we age, as our bodies change, as the weather changes, maybe we've changed something in our sleep or our diet, or something's happened to us physically. We may just have, as I said earlier, have to find another way to get to that level of fitness. And what was that level of fitness anyway? So it's defining, is that level of fitness a feeling? Is it a measurement? Is it a pace for walking or running? Is it carrying a certain weight? What defines that level of fitness anyway? Because we might find that our habits or our choices around what our fitness are have changed also. But for me, being able to, trail ready, being life fit, is that I can, get up off that couch without needing handrails. I can get up off the toilet without needing handrails. I can walk down the stairs without all the aches and pains. And there was a great article we put in the member newsletter, or the member Facebook group, about exercise and arthritis, and how exercise is the number one thing for arthritis, especially of the knees, and some other strategies were in the article as well. For me, being trail ready or life fit means that I can pick up my own groceries. I can reach up to that top shelf. I can lift that, my own suitcase when I go traveling. Those are the things that being trail ready gives me for being life fit as well. The other thing is to know your best time for movement. So I applaud every single Thursday when we do our online trail fit training, our evening members who show up at 5:00 in the afternoon, because it is really easy for me, who's a morning exerciser, to find excuses during the day to not do something. Work will always get in the way because I like my job. Cooking dinner will get in the way. Doing my washing will get in the way. Anything will get in the way of me doing exercise in the afternoon. So I applaud those women who continue to show up every Thursday afternoon. And I know they're counting on me to show up as well. So they hold me accountable there too. So choose when, know your best time. When is the best time for you to commit to your movement? And what are your trigger points? So are you easily swayed? If someone says, oh, don't do that, or you think in your head, this little one on your shoulder goes, it's easy, just skip it this afternoon. Know what triggers you. Treat your commitment to self like an appointment. Treat it like the dentist or the physio or the doctor or whatever it might be, and make that commitment to yourself. And the other one, the right strategy so that we can be trail ready and building that sustainability in our hiking habits, is to change our mindset. To we've had some comments around the feeling guilty. We've had some comments about, how do I get back to being the fitness that I was a couple of months ago? How do I, this restart, this stop, this reset, is to, and for those of you who are coming back from fitness and trying to get back to a certain level, is to focus, and I say this a lot, focus on the gains. And I know she's watching tonight, and you know who you are. And we were just saying the other day, if you look back and see how far you have come, and I can see it, how far you have come since you started, not how far you think you need to go. And Kate, and Mary, I don't know your backstory, but if you think of why you lost your fitness and where you are now trying to get back, think of how far you've come since you turned around and said, I need to get back to that level of fitness. Because we often beat ourselves up, and that guilt comes in when we look at how far we think we need to go, rather than, relishing in the success of just how far we've come. And the other thing is to stop complaining. If we don't like our life, if we don't like our fitness, if we don't like our health, the antidote is to take action, to just create some. I make it sound simple, right? It's not simple. It's hard to do nothing, and it's hard to do something. So choose your hard. And, being trail ready or being life fit is about consistency. And if we show up with consistency for anything, as Margaret said really early on, life is full of ups and downs, and we will get there with consistency. So keep that in mind. Alethea says, and those who hate mornings and start at 6:30 a.m. on a Thursday. Yeah, well, the world is built for morning people. So, as I said, know your best time for working out. Know when your body is at its best. And if you're not a morning person, then don't make yourself get up or make yourself do movement if you're going to let yourself down by cancelling out every single time. So that is really important. So, trail ready and this whole life getting in the way. Life is how you live it, and life is the air we breathe every single day, 24 hours a day. So life getting in the way is I don't even know if it's a great saying. I don't know how it started. Life is how you choose to spend every single 24 hours. And for me, being trail ready is also about being life ready. And I know many of you here are. And Carolyn says, I've been doing gym twice a week for the past couple of months, decided I was not going to complain, and I'm feeling the benefits. Yep. And we were talking today about that success. Oh, someone else was going to their trainer a couple of times a week and was feeling the benefits too. And when you feel those benefits, it's this self-fulfilling cycle of going around and around and getting better and more confident. And then you see results, and then you see it again, and it just keeps going around and around and around. So hopefully you've got something out of this tonight, that being trail ready is being life fit. And you know what you do today may not show up tomorrow or the day after, and you think it might not matter, but it will show up in decades. So that other great saying is, show me your daily habits and I'll show you your life. So think about that. And there was another great article about a 96-year-old aqua aerobics instructor. These classes were full. So think about that. So that's Monday Night Live from me. This week we do have, for our members, our Couch to Mountain is on tonight. We have cardio boost tomorrow night, and we have trail fit training online on Thursday morning only of this week. So next week, I'm on holidays from Thursday, a private holiday with my husband, from this Thursday for 2.5 weeks. So I may pop in and do some lives, but I can't guarantee it. So there won't be a Monday Night Live as scheduled for next week, but there will be when I get back in a couple of weeks' time. I will be back before I head over again to the marathon, so I will give you updates, and our members will certainly, I'll give you details if you want to track me on how I'm going with that. But just know that where you are is where you're meant to be. It's easy to feel guilty, so try and stop the guilt, and that so long as you can show up with consistency, then you will get there. Think of your future self and this defining moment that your future self will thank you for. And thank you, Peter. A perfect ending. Just needed that, heading out for a walk now. So that's it from me. Take care, and I will check in with you in a couple of weeks' time. See you then. Bye.